like this game.
Okay, so before we talk about all of this, let's talk about the developer, Next Level Games. You know, they started out small with NHL Hits Pro on the GameCube and Xbox and PlayStation 2, but then wham! They made Super Mario Strikers for the GameCube, and they haven't made a dud since. Don't look at that one. And don't even get me started on this one. Okay, but Next Level Games usually does make some pretty good games. I mean, especially whenever they pair up with Nintendo. I mean, Luigi's Mansion 3 is one of the best games I've played on the Switch so far. Mario Strikers is so incredibly fun and incredibly stylistic as well, and oh my god, it's just so good. And the creme de la creme, they made Punch-Out for the Wii, which is probably one of my favorite games of all time. If you haven't picked up on it by now, there is so much charm packed into every single one of these games, and everything is just so incredibly detailed, from the animations to the music. So then why does Spider-Man Friend or Foe have a 4.9 out of 10 on IGN? Okay, so you want to know why Spider-Man Friend or Foe has a 4.9 out of 10 on IGN? You want to know? Well, I'll tell you. It is not a good game. But I love it anyways, you know, it's like your one kid that you know is gonna grow up into a failure or a drug addict or something, and you know, you can't get rid of it, it's been with you for so long, it's not like you can just stash it in a trash bag and put it into a dumpster behind a CC's and hope it never escapes. Alright, I'm off topic, here's the premise of Spider-Man Friend or Foe. A meteor approaches Earth's orbit and shatters into a bunch of different pieces. These pieces are extremely dangerous and are called shards. That meteor contains the same alien symbiote junk that made Venom. Nick Fury straight up abducts Spider-Man and tells him that there is somebody who's using these shards to make these monsters called Phantoms. They're just like Venom, looking like symbiotes and everything like that, but they're also made of holograms for some reason, so, you know, they aren't real, you aren't hurting anyone. Then Fury tells Spidey that the person who made all the Phantoms is also using the shards to mind control a bunch of your own villains like Doc Ock and Green Goblin. He also tells you that the villains in the shards are scattered all across the world and that there are some friendly friends around that can help you too. And he even tells you that if you beat the villains into a pulp enough, they might help you too. So I guess the real lesson here is that friendship is magic. And abduction is magic too, I guess. Okay, so the story might be on like 13 different types of cocaine, but like, for an 8-year-old me, I love that stuff, man. Venom was the coolest villain to me back in the day, so to have a story pretty much entirely based off of him and all the enemies looking like him was just super amazing. I mean, they all looked so evil and cool. Wait, looked? Oh yeah! It's a next level game!
The art direction in this game is really good.
Every character model in this game is so jagged and just full of character and spice. And sure, like one or two don't really work out with this art style. Hint hint, Nick Fury. Everything just has that nice little touch of Next Level Games creativity that I'm sure even people who don't like this game can appreciate. The developers knew this too. They made sure to make the actual art pieces a collectible in the game. But none of that matters if the gameplay isn't good. So ladies and gentlemen, is the gameplay good?
Not really.
Friend or Foe only does one thing, and it doesn't even really do it that well. Simply put, it is a 3D beat 'em up. Start the level, beat up the bad guys, next room. Beat up the bad guys, next room. Maybe take a break to get a collectible, beat up bad guys, next room. Repeat that until you get to a boss level, beat up the boss, next level. Now you do actually get to play as the villains you beat. Each one of them you can upgrade and get them one new ability. You can upgrade Spider-Man as well, and I mean he unlocks 3 different abilities over the course of the game, but that is pretty much the extent of the depth of the fighting mechanics of the game. And in all honesty, in a lot of levels you can just cheese it by throwing people off of a cliff. Walk into an area, pick up bad guy, throw him off cliff, wait for next bad guy, pick him up, throw him off cliff. Wait for next bad guy, pick him up, throw him off cliff. Hey, are you noticing something?
Repetition. It's the same thing over and over. but I never got tired of it for my 10-hour playthrough. But also, my standards are very, very low.
And yet, despite all those problems, I still love the game. Come on, it's all nostalgia anyways. I mean, I love this video game. It's got so many cool designs and stuff. Okay, but remember how I said that all the shards were around the world? Well, that's where you go to play the video game. I'm gonna tell you all where you all go and what I think of it and who all you unlock. So pull up your pants. Yeah. Tokyo, you start off with Prowler and Silver Sable. They both suck. Anyways, you start out in a factory and then you go to a city, which is kind of cool. In the factory, the boss is Doc Ock. He's okay. In the city, the boss is Green Goblin. The fight is good. The character is not. You also meet Black Cat, who is okay. Then you go to Tangaroa Island, which is very real and not made up. You start off on the beaches, and it's really fun, and it looks all pretty, and then you fight Scorpion, who is without a doubt the best character in the game. Then you go to some ancient cave ruins, which is really neat, and you save Iron Fist, and he's a good character, and then you fight Rhino, and he's a bad character. Then you go to the desert, and it really sucks, and then you find a lizard who sucks, and then you go into some catacombs, which is awesome, and then you fight the Sandman, who is okay. Then you go to Transylvania, and it is amazing. You start out in some old village, which is awesome, and then you find Blade inside a castle. Blade is really bad, but it's okay. He's fine. He looks cool. And then you're in a castle or cathedral or something, and the most glorious thing ever happens. After being in one of the easiest but also coolest boss fights in the game, you unlock Venom, and he's really, really good.
When I unlocked Venom when I was 5, I peed myself in giddiness. That was the peak of my life. I'm proud to say that that is still the peak of my life.
And then you go to Nepal in this very pretty flowery village, and I love it. And then you show up to the front gates of some weird super Buddhist place, I don't know. And then you unlock Black Suit Spider-Man, who is awesome, but also does pretty much nothing. It's at this point that you also learn that the man behind the slaughter... the culprit behind it all was Mysterio, and he looks sick. And I really want to play as him. And from that point forward, you're going through the super weird Buddhist town or whatever, and you're destroying everything, and then you're fighting all the phantoms, and then you go into this really spooky temple thing, and then you finally have that boss fight with Mysterio with all these crazy lights and flashes and everything like that. And it looks awesome, and then you finally beat him, and you're so excited.
Oh boy, I can't wait to play as Mysterio, dude. His attacks are so cool in the final boss fight. I just wonder, what all do I get to do?
And you get back to the Helicarrier and... Wait, what?
New Goblin? New Goblin? Okay, New Goblin then. Okay. What are his special moves?
Literally the exact same moveset of Green Goblin. No glider and all.
He's a copy. He's just there's nothing new about him. He can't even use a glider. He uses a glider in the beginning. What? I wanted to play as Mysterio!
Did you like this vid? Then please hit subscribe. Did you like this vid? Then hit like and share.